watching Superskum.com. I'm Carlos Reale. I'm here with Helloween's own Michael Weikath. Thank you so much for being here.
Good day, good day. Well, you just got into here. I've been here anyways.
Yes, exactly. I just got here. But I'll be here all night long. Checking you guys out for sure live. You're back in North America, and in this case, doing the fourth U.S. tour practically in the past 24 years, as far as I could find. 89, 2003, 2008, that was the Hellish Rock Part 1, and now this one, of course. Hellish Rock Part 2, very limited tour, 10 dates, 7 US, 3 Canadians, plus no gamma ray. So why the short tour? Are you just testing the market?
No, that's just the preeminent towns to be played at this very point. You know, we actually would have liked to have done, Texas a bit more, and San Antonio and Bay Area or what have you and all this. But obviously, you know, from the promoter side, I don't know what was booked or not. And so we are doing what we can right now because we can, and that's the point in time, and there's not so much you can do about it or change and whatever. Then we have the dates of the Latin tour coming in as well, and that. So we do that.
Absolutely. What happened with Gamma Ray? They couldn't make it over here.
I guess, I don't know, but I assume, you know, they're doing more recordings for the actual next record they want to do. Okay. I only assume that, so don't quote me on that. No, that's what I would think.
Any plans to come back to the U.S. soon after?
Yeah, probably in 3 years. No, it's always like a matter of, not losing money. You know, we're coming here and we're breaking even on what we have here as the tour we are doing right now. So we're going to break even, and it's kind of like catering to the fans as a service, you know, being here. Because last time, the offers that were there weren't so great. And so we thought, we're in a very enchanted position because we can say something like that just so. So then, we don't do an American leg next time around. And you know what I wanted to say actually is that no one takes this wrong or bad.
No, absolutely.
You know.
Well, it's the reality also. It's
There's no use coming here, you know, putting your very body into this country if there's no good offers from promoters, and if you can already tell, you know, this could be some kind of calamity or whatever, then you rather think, okay, then we stay home. And this has nothing to do with a dislike of the American fans or something. That's just where we're trying to save our own asses. Then when we see this is not going to work out so fine, we rather stay home.
No, absolutely understandable. Yes.
Rather like this now then. That's better.
There's the fan side, there's of course the business side, of course the euro against the dollar, all that, and then the promoters, like you're saying, the opportunities. But you know, on a more positive side, if you will, talking about touring, you just participated in Rock in Rio almost a couple weeks ago. It was the Sunset stage, and was that the first time for Helloween in Rock in Rio?
Yeah.
How was the experience?
Oh, very good. I mean, we could have been there a lot earlier, I think, but you know, there's mechanisms in place, you know, that try to keep someone from being there earlier, and you can't really pinpoint it, or you can't grip it and say it's him who doesn't want us there. But you know, there's obviously people who doesn't want Helloween there as early as it could have been, and so now we were there, and that's good. And we had like most of the people on the sunshine stage, or what it's called, sunset. The sunset that's so sorrow. And we've been there, and it was very good. And there's been so many people. And when I saw the spot before, I thought, oh, this looks kind of small. But then when all the people were there, it was like an entirely different thing. And it was really good. And yeah, really fun. Extremely well organized.
Now, moving on a little bit more into genres, you guys, of course, the band, you yourself with your career within the band, very well established, very legendary flag carrier band, if you will, for heavy metal and for power metal itself. Basically, what I want to get to is, how do you see the current state of power metal right now specifically? Here, Europe, Asia?
Actually, I can't tell you because I'm not very well informed about the state of power metal as it is, because we're just being busy traveling, riding around in planes and doing this and doing that. And I can only suppose from what I see and what I know, but I would guess it's in a very good state. And, the only thing we actually need is what I stated in other interviews before, we're another real happening band, like a new one, something fresh, where you would think, okay, these are young guys and they really know what they're doing, they got great melodies and stuff. Because power metal implies that you're good and you have great melodies. That's what power metal is. And so I'm more or less curious, what's going to be the next, rather than what's already there and what's established. But you can tell that each and everyone involved in that genre kind of knows what he's doing or she is doing.
Do you think it's oversaturated by any chance? Too many bands?
No, could that ever be oversaturated? What I think is oversaturated is like the heavy sector death metal and stuff. I think that's oversaturated, and there's too much general run-of-the-mill stuff that could easily be done away with.
And that's one very popular, style here, at least in the U.S. market. Compared to power metal, you have bands not coming. You guys don't getting enough offers, good promotion. The tours are different. Bands are not coming back. We just interview other bands that want to not even be classified as power metal. They want hard rock again. You have bands like Manowar abandoning this market. You have Sonata Arctica want to be hard rock. You have Tobias Sammet, Avantasia, Ed Guy being more rockish. So
yeah, we're hard rock too.
Yeah, there you go. So everybody's like trying to change the trend, but other people are carrying the flag for it, like Helloween. So
yeah, but there's definitely too many hard rock bands as well.
Yes, and that's getting to that point. So everybody's jumping ship, and that one is getting to be pretty crowded. Lyrically, the band, very unique, very experienced in many different facets. As far as what you provide with your lyrics, you've gone from old Helloween to new Helloween. You've had fantasy themes, darker content, social themes. You have a little bit of everything, even positive messages. You're trying to do with the latest record more of a positive message as well. How do you think the band actually manage all these different themes? How do you marry them together, especially when you have so many people contributing at the same time for all the albums?
Yeah, which is good. And then you have like 4 people doing that, and if one lyric is not really up to par, then somebody has to do something about it, and then there you go. And yeah, because you have that variety, I mean, from left to right, whatever we want to do, we are moving in a quite vast field of what we can do, what we are allowed to do meanwhile. And so actually that's, you just do something, and then what you want to consider is that you are doing a new CD with the strongest tracks you have. So for us it doesn't really matter how many tracks one of us is doing, as long as the overall impact is accessible and good, as for instance with the Straight Outta Hell now. That's been kind of a surprise to every one of us, because there were so many great demo tracks, and then we handled that thing with appointing B-sides and extra tracks, bonus tracks and stuff, like nothing. Because like we had so much material suddenly, and that was really good, and I wish that would go on, because that was really a surprise, pleasant one to everyone.
And the themes vary greatly. I mean, you go from even spirituality, you go into different civilizations, like
there's so much dark stuff you can possibly talk about.
And it is, you even have a song about, what is it, commandeering a spaceship into the sun, practically.
Yeah, another psycho.
And then you have so many different lyrical themes, but you manage to marry it within one album, and it's the contribution of everybody else. You have even some lyrics denouncing the church in this album, as far as, not being up with the times, if you will, even though, of course, the band is highly spiritual.
Well, I mean, even the actual Pope just recently said he wants a change, so that's pretty decent, and you know, he's up to his job.
Before we started this interview, we were talking a little bit about Tenerife in the Canary Islands. We know Andi lives there. Mi Sueño, my dream studio, he has it over there. You guys recording there as well.
Yeah, my company that never went into effect is called Puede Ser.
Puede ser, it could be. There you go. So basically, you know, are you still living there or not? Is it Andi and yourself? Okay, great. And you know, we have, if you think about, aside from the beautiful island, what special connection is there with Tenerife as far as, is it just beautiful? It's a good place to live? It's kind of the vibe for Helloween? How do you...
Yeah, it's a bit of all that, but basically I went there because I could. So with the money I had back then to look for an apartment of mine, you know, because I always had that anxiety about what would my existence be if suddenly people wouldn't like our records anymore, whatever. Then I've been living in a rental flat, and that kind of drove me crazy. Yeah, ever since I had that freaking apartment there in Tenerife, you know, I can sleep well. I don't know, it's a different outlook on life, and then you can say you got something of your own, and I just had it solidified now, so I don't know if it's nuclear proof or something, but something like that now. And then that's a good thing. Then the people are very heartfelt, simple people, cute. You know, they sometimes remind me a bit of hamsters. But that's also because there's so many people from Venezuela there. Yeah,
oh really?
Yeah,
they got that. People.
They got that hamsterish attitude as well. And
interesting.
Yeah, kind people, and they're very religious. You know, they do their stuff. They eat what they know, and well, they listen to rave, and there's nothing going on with rock, big time.
Very secluded music.
Well, it's a tourist place, you know, and it's a distorted reality field that exists there, but it definitely has its particular power and magic in a way that it's something like a yin and yang or whatever that goes on the island. So if the island doesn't want anyone, he won't ever get there, or she, or won't feel good there. And if you somehow suit and fit in there, then you have no problem. I can imagine there could be people coming there, you know, they think it's ghastly, cruel, and black, and not good, whatever. And well, I feel fine there. Yeah.
That's good. So it kind of matches the personality of the band, right? It's a private, secluded place because there's a very private band. You guys are very private people. Different, you know, history, if you will. You're very popular, but you keep to yourselves, and which nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying it fits kind of like that vibe. Tenerife being off the coast of southern Morocco, pretty much, and not necessarily in the middle of the Atlantic, but almost. And yeah. 7 islands, you're in the biggest one, of course. There, have you attended the famous carnival? The carnival, what is it, of Santa Cruz de Tenerife?
I haven't been to Santa Cruz during the carnival, but I've been to Puerto some 10 years ago, and that was kind of it, you know, because it's extremely hard to get back home after a certain hour in the night, and then you can. You know, when you're tired and a little bit drunk and you just want to get home, you know, it's very far, you know, just with a taxi you take 3 or 4 minutes and you're home. But if you can't get a freaking taxi home, then you're lost. And, you know, I've had it a few times that I wanted to get home because I was tired and drunk and I wanted to go home. And I had to, you know, just like walk back and forth to somehow find a savior who would have mercy on me. Bring me home, and so I've kind of not been down there too many times recently.
Going back to the new release, which, you know, was released this year in January, Straight Outta Hell, of course, 14th studio album. You've been touring for it. You still have some touring left. You got Mexico, you got Central America, you got South America coming up in November and December. Any ideas being shuffled for the next release? Anything in mind? Taking a break? Anything being written, demoed?
No idea at all. It's just we're gonna do as many festivals and shows as possible, even in the next year. To that extent that, well, you do as much as you can, and then from a certain point on, there will be preparations for the next album, and that's what it will be. We have not the slightest idea what the next album would be about, but it will probably be about melodic heavy metal and stuff. And
I think fans can expect that.
yeah, and we would try to come up with the best tracks possible, so if that works out. And we're not gonna rush it or anything, so you can assume that the rest of the year will be planned for anything that goes with that record, no matter how long it takes. It doesn't have to take long, but then it takes the time it takes. And then we're looking at a possible release early 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
You know.
It's a good plan, at least, in place. And, we wish you the best with accomplishing that upcoming goal, of course. Good luck with all the rest of the tour this year, and we really appreciate giving us a little bit of your time, Michael, so thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
And hey, we got to say hi to the people of Spain, the Venezuelan people over there in Tenerife as well, so thank you so much. And
I meant no harm.
no harm, no harm. They can go and be ravers if they want, but it's all good. Thank you so much, Michael.